2:14, December 14th, 2025 here in Qualicum Beach. Happy Hanukkah to the people of the Jewish faith. And if you know your Bible, you can look it up. It says the disciples went to the celebration of light. That's in the New Testament. The celebration of lights is another word for Hanukkah. I'm just, unfortunately, some people, apparently 3 gunmen, one terminated, one in custody, opened fire on Jewish people doing happy Hanukkah stuff at the beach. There's 18 wounded and people dead. There's a video of some guy sneaking up from the side on one of the men who has a long-barreled gun and takes his gun away from him. Good way to go, buddy. Some people have pointed out that the government there hasn't done anything about the rise in anti-Semitism, and just yesterday CIGA, which is a Jewish group, on their Instagram was talking about the firebombing of a synagogue in Australia, saying this has to be stopped, and they just escalated it. First you have the demonstrations, then the graffiti, you do a few firebombings, and then you start blowing people the F away. Anyways, I hope the wounded there in Bondi Beach make a complete healing, and I hope the authorities there catch the people responsible for them pulling the triggers and give them the maximum sentences allowed by law. Another shooting was at Brown University in Rhode Island. 2 dead, 8 wounded. The suspect is loose. They don't even have a good picture of him. You just see the back of him going down the sidewalk. There's no motive listed. I'm here at the beach. Gray overcast day. We got eagles flying around and seagulls. Bruce Bandit, the Abbotsford MLA, and Brad V's, the MP, they have a video out on Instagram where they talk about the flooding that's going on in Abbotsford, and they're asking for the government in Ottawa to step up, just like the mayor of Abbotsford is asking the government to step up. You know what all 3 have in common? Not one of them will say how much money it'll cost. I've seen the media stories in the last couple of years. It'll cost billions to fix the dikes up to the proper level. Yes, I get it. The farmers get their land flooded and all their chickens are dead. Obviously, they're not going to like that. I just ate eggs for breakfast. They came from Black Creek, BC, Mountain View Farms. Like, lots of people eat chicken burgers and stuff. Well, I was about to say we all know global warming's real. Well, the fact is, Pierre Poilievre, and I voted, not Pierre Poilievre, sorry, totally sorry, John Rustad, the ex-leader of the BC Conservatives, I voted for him. But, like, the fact is, he's said several times, I don't believe that global warming is real. If you know anything about the geography of BC, that area there in Abbotsford used to be a lake. There's old maps from the 1920s that show a lake there. Some genius said, pump out all the water and we can use it as farmland. And it works just fine, as long as you don't get heavy rains and floods, because then the water just stays there. John Rustad controversially said, well, next time it floods, we're not going to pay them. You shouldn't be there. Let nature take its course. John Rustad is now just another MLA, and the BC Conservatives are supposed to be having a leadership convention because we're the official opposition in BC and we don't have an official leader. That's pretty rinky-dink. I have no idea who the leader should be. Mrs. Finley, the former MP from White Rock, her husband, he's an MLA. Tony Luck, Gavin Dew, he's a white guy, he used to live in the downtown east side. He got himself out of that situation and became an MLA somewhere else. Well, that's awesome. He knows what it's like to have bad circumstances. Not everyone does. Peter Milobar seems to be an impressive guy. He's a finance guy. It's NFL day. I look forward to watching the games. Went to the Parksville Save-On. My cashier gave me good service. One of the younger employees gave me a big smile. I walk into the store. To my right, some woman's going, I give blowjobs to guys on Harleys. Well, I guess you're not good enough to give blowjobs to guys with Lamborghinis and Porsches and Rolls Royces. Hey, it's a free country. If you want to suck off guys on Harleys, go right for it, baby. Some other woman, when I was coming out of the cash register area, was going, Aunt Jean is accepted in our set. I don't know if you know this, but I do have an Aunt Jean relative. If she knows anyone at all on Vancouver Island, it would be news to me. Are you people with such boring, uninteresting lives that you have to discuss my family's life in Parksville, BC? I'm sure most people don't give a hoot, but some people do apparently. And that's why National Enquirer sells millions of copies of their newspaper. They were at time the #1 circulation magazine in the United States. I don't know if they still are. They printed lies about Carol Burnett being a drunk. She sued and won $5 million. They were right, though, about Gary Hart, the senator, cheating on his wife. And they tried to cover up that story of Trump and Stormy Daniels. They paid her $70,000 for the story. She thought it would get published, and they didn't publish it. Then all sorts of stuff went on not to publish her story. Have you ever seen Robert Kraft, the guy who owns the New England Patriots? He got busted with 2 hookers. He's a billionaire. Like, Trump has better taste in women. Like, if you ever seen the 2 women that Kraft did it with, I could see them in a bar on a Friday night not getting picked up. Stormy Daniels, if you're gonna pay for it with a Stormy Daniels. She's got the big hair and the big tits. And no, don't get me wrong, prostitution is wrong, pimping is wrong, and there wouldn't be pimps and prostitutes if there were no Johns punting their money. I got a big kick out of it when that insult guy was beaten up by the hooker in Ontario. He came in and he killed the pimp, who was actually a female pimp, and he injured someone else. And the hooker thought, nope, you ain't killing me, bleep hole, and successfully beat the guy up so the cops could arrest him. Way to go, lady. If you're a prostitute, your chance of dying violently, and you can look the stats up, is 100 times for a woman who isn't a prostitute. Because in that business, you have to go to strange, dark places with strange men. That's part of your job. And anything can happen. I've seen hookers beat up in East Vancouver, Surrey. Pretty bad way to live. And Canada's prostitution laws are a joke. The Supreme Court threw out the old prostitution law, so we really don't have a law now because Parliament won't deal with it. Gino Zampano runs the Swedish Touch whorehouse in Vancouver. Brandy's death surrounds the guy. Brandy Solendar, his old boss there. She suicides, yeah, sure. And then he's running the club. Officially, he's just the security director, yet everyone knows he runs the place. He was involved in that House of Brussels pump and dump stock fraud, $5 million lost. The only media in Canada that covered the stories was the Halifax Chronicle Herald in Nova Scotia. They had their building right there in Vancouver on Terminal Avenue, and they also had another one in Texas. Yet the story was pretty much covered up except for one newspaper. Strange. And he's not just a full patch Charles Angel, he's a club president. He's getting on in years now, but he's still 6'9". Various people, for whatever the last 2 years, have felt it necessary to mention him to me. No one ever mentioned him to me before the last 2 years, saying he pays well. The guy who runs the Mac store, the East Indian guy with the beard, at 72, and I believe it's 140 in Surrey, where the Bank of Nova Scotia is, that strip mall. He made a point of telling me I'm protected by Gino Zampano and Jeremy Nathan Dyke. Well, then you're doomed, buddy, because Jeremy runs right to the cops. He can't protect anyone. His stepdaughter, Natasha Lucien, aka Natasha Lucier, she was raped repeatedly, and he did nothing, even though he professes his love for his stepdaughter on the social media. Jeremy, what a hypocrite. He'd be in the bar complaining about the cops harassing him. Someone chases after him, but he runs straight to the cops for protection because his HA buddies won't help him. He got fired from band camp for some reason. Apparently he went up to some Indo drivers trying to get help, and they just said, hey, just piss off. You never talked to us once. And now some guy's threatened to beat you to death, and now you want our help? Like, go to your HA buddies. I can't believe I've got family members that actually slept with HA for 3 or 4 years. What an embarrassment. Well, I've been talking for 10 minutes and 49 seconds. That's quite enough. Hope they catch that killer from Rhode Island at Brown University. Happy Hannukah. It runs from the 14th of December to, I believe, the 21st. You'd have to look it up to confirm. And I believe it's John 10:22, where it says the apostles went to the celebration of life, which is in fact Hannukah. You can look that up. You'll have to look it up. I doubt your priest will know that, or your pastor, or if they do, they don't want to tell you, because the fact of the matter is no disciple or apostle ever celebrated Xmas or Christmas. The birth of Jesus was considered so unimportant in the Bible that they didn't mention the day of it. There's other dates specifically mentioned in the Bible. If it was important, they would have mentioned it. None of the apostles ever mentioned celebrating the birth of our Lord. Okay, that's enough for me for now. I'm having problems with my Instagram. For some reason, at the very bottom of my Instagram, where you hit the plus button to post, it's changed to a different symbol, and now I can't upload. I can still like comment on other people's, but I can't upload. So I don't know what's up with that, so I'll have to contact them. Man, this beach is great. There's a single speck of litter. Interesting birds. Right on. And that point over there reminds me of the one in Point Roberts. Oh, I did. My previous trip to Save On there in Parksville, some guy was talking a lot of HA crap, so was his wife. Mercedes, the cashier, heard all of it. So did some other people. And then he was going on that he wasn't in fear of Ronaldo Lysing. Well, I don't know why of all the Hells Angels on the planet Earth you'd want to say that about Mr. Lysing. The guy is a hardcore criminal. He did time for kidnapping, cocaine dealing. In jail, apparently, he wasn't able to run things, but he was working as an enforcer for the guys who did, a bill collector, as they call it. On Imperial Street in Burnaby, he was shot twice a couple of years ago. I don't know what happened to him after that.